What's going on, everybody? Welcome to some breaking news. And we have some really disappointing news. Indian Wells has been cancelled. Postponed. They say postponed, but officially we'll call it cancelled because we've got a lot of tennis to play this year, and I don't know where they'd fit the tournament in. But we will go through the article in a second. This has just come out, so such a shame. I mean, it's been cancelled, if you don't know, because of the coronavirus. Obviously, it's a big thing and a big deal, and a lot of people around the world are suffering from it, and a lot of people are worried about it. And unfortunately, now it's gotten into our world, the tennis world, and it's becoming a problem in the tennis world, which, you know, we're an international sport. It's played all around the world. So it was only probably a matter of time before something like this was going to happen. Unfortunately, it happens at one of the biggest tournaments of the year. Indian Wells, considered the fifth slam outside of the big four slams, obviously Australia, US Open, Wimbledon, French Open. Indian Wells is the biggest tournament outside of those four tournaments, and we don't get to watch it. That's the biggest bummer at the moment for me, is that we don't get to watch any of these matches on the channel over the next couple of weeks. So it's supposed to start on Thursday. It's now not going to start on Thursday. We won't have any tournaments until Miami, which is on the 25th of this month. So we're going to have to wait a bit longer for more tennis, but Miami is still under a bit of a cloud as well, because obviously Miami is in America, but it's on the other side of where Indian Wells is. But still, you know, if tournaments are starting to get cancelled on the tennis tour, I mean, the European swing's happening in April. There's things happening in Europe with coronavirus too, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't happen. But this has effectively been cancelled, Indian Wells, and we'll go through this article. Let's have a look now. All right, so as you can see, Indian Wells tournament called off amid coronavirus fears. Could be played at a later date. Now, the first thing I have to say about could it be done at a later date? We got Olympics this year. Unless it gets put on during the Asian swing, that might get cancelled because coronavirus. Maybe they play it at that time, but I don't know where they fit Indian Wells in the schedule outside of this month. I mean, there's no more. You know, where can we fit it? At the end of the year, December? I don't know. Anyways, let's go through the article. One of the biggest tournaments in tennis has been called off as new coronavirus outbreak continues to wreak havoc globally. Organisers for the 2020 BNP Paribas Open, otherwise known as Indian Wells Tournament, announced Sunday that the tournament will not be played as scheduled following a confirmed case of coronavirus in Coachella Valley, which is very, very close to Indian Wells, so where the tournament's been held. So you can see here, this is the official Twitter of the BNP Paribas Open, which is Indian Wells. The Riverside, they say that it will not be held. And then they said the Riverside County Public Health Department has declared a public health emergency for Coachella Valley after a confirmed case of coronavirus locally. So one case in the general area, and that's why this has been cancelled. As a result, the 2020 BNP Paribas Open will not take place at this time due to concerns surrounding the coronavirus and the safety of participants and attendees at the event. This is following the guidance of medical professionals and from the Centers for Disease Control and the state of California. So that is why it's not being held. We've got to remember that, like I just said before, this is considered the biggest tournament outside of the big slams. Now, they get a lot of visitors at this event. There's a lot of people playing. So a lot of people playing this event. Obviously, the best players in the world are playing besides Federer. At this stage, it was Federer, Andreescu, and Halep were the big names that weren't playing. But besides those guys, you have Djokovic, Nadal, Serena Williams, Ash Barty, Pliskova, Osaka, all the men's players as well, Tsitsipas, team, all those guys are playing. They're the best of the best. And imagine if one of them got, even if someone ranked in the 50s got, affected by it, it would just not be, it's not worth it, is it? So, and then of course the general public, there's so many people, it's a massive crowd of people. One person gets affected by the coronavirus during the tournament. Anyone on that day would be put in quarantine, you'd think. So it's way too risky. I can see what they mean, but it is disappointing. The main draw action, this is often regarded as the biggest non-slam event in the world, was supposed to be scheduled to begin on Thursday. So Tommy Haas, former great, he's the tournament director. indicated in a release that organisers are looking into holding the tournament on another date. And then they said that patrons who have purchased tickets for this event will be refunded or credited for next year's event. So they can they either get their money back, or next year they can just go for free, or their ticket goes over to next year. And then they also said that there is too great a risk at this time to the public health of the Riverside County area in holding a large gathering of this size. Medical professor David Agus said must be in the press release, it is not in the public interest of fans, players, and neighbouring areas for this tournament to proceed. We all have to join together to protect the community from the coronavirus outbreak. Again, I see what they mean. You know, one person shows up on day 3 of the event, turns out a week later, or 2 weeks later, because that seems to be how the virus works, that they're infected. Everyone who went on the Wednesday of the second week is now at risk of also having it. So, not to mention the players on the court. I mean, you know, someone in the front row who might have symptoms of it is watching, you know, Djokovic, then Djokovic is at risk. So, and that's obviously an extreme case, but hey, it could happen. So I get what they mean. I get what they're trying to do. It's very disappointing. Very disappointing for not only for the players meant to be playing, also the fans meant to be watching, also us as tennis fans. It's a massive disappointment. I was really looking forward to watching Indian Wells for the first time on the channel, but we're gonna have to wait another year potentially. Again, they did say, you know, Tommy Haas did say that they would try and maybe postpone this event to another date. But like I said, it's Olympic year. We've got Tokyo, I think, is it middle of the year, around, just after Wimbledon? And we've already got a stacked schedule, so I don't know where they fit it. Do they put it in place of the Asian Swing? That's a possibility. That means Shanghai doesn't go ahead. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the Asian Swing because of this virus as well, right? So, you know, not many players are going to go and play in Tokyo and go play in, you know, in all these other countries that surrounding where the virus is, you know, where it originated. So, who knows? Who knows? I guess the only players that really benefit this are the players that, you know, pulled out. Federer, he had a lot of points to defend. Obviously pulled out with a knee injury. Those points don't matter now because this tournament hasn't been held. Andreescu, for the winner of last year, she pulled out as well with, I think, a knee injury as well. And again, she doesn't have to worry about losing points because it's not getting held. So there are some winners out of this, but then again, I'm sure they're not happy about this. I'm sure if they were healthy, they would be there, just like every other player in the world that's there at the moment. So very disappointing, and obviously a very serious issue. So, you know, they did the right thing. God forbid someone, not only a top 10 player or, you know, top 50 player got this virus. You know, so many fans are at risk with this as well. So they did the right thing. Disappointing because we wanted to watch it, but, you know, safety first, right? So it's safety first. So that's what they've done. And, you know, this is not just affecting tennis. This is the first case we've had of something this actually affecting tennis, but it's affecting a lot of sports worldwide. It's football worldwide. You know, it's there's a lot of footballs played all around the world, like tennis is. That's being affected. So you know, tennis is just unfortunately another an international sport that gets affected by this. But hopefully, fingers crossed, Miami starts and goes ahead as scheduled. And who knows, Indian Wells might be back towards the end of the year. No matter what, we're going to be watching it if it does happen. But yeah, we won't be doing any matches, obviously, in the next 3 weeks now. So that's a little disappointing. But as long as everyone's healthy, as long as everyone's safe, safety first, that's all that matters. Make sure that you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video as well. And I'll see you guys soon.